Welcome to About Mansfield. It's your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo, back in the saddle, broadcasting from the Somark Studios along with the About Mansfield news team. How about those guest hosts? I'll have something to say about them a little bit later. Colleen Daniels, she's out there in Studio West, and this is the May 6th, 2026, 319th edition. Coming up, it's Mansfield news, talk, and information. Let's check the stories we're covering this week.
Michele Gooch wins school board seat in up and down battle.
City Council passes Civility resolution following tense exchange.
Mansfield woman awaits sentencing in exploitation case.
Downtown Brewery closes after 9 years.
Mansfield Mission fundraiser raises over $2 million for new facility.
And in sports, Timberview track and field headed to state.
And in the talk segment, Steve concludes his in-studio talk with Dr. Nicholas Michels, author of Rich by Choice. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Looking for a night out that's anything but ordinary? Step into Vault Seafood and Steakhouse, Mansfield's premier upscale dining experience. Savor perfectly aged steaks, fresh seafood, and handcrafted cocktails, all served in a stunning atmosphere. Want more? Enjoy private dining rooms and a cigar lounge for that extra touch of luxury. Vault delivers exceptional flavor in a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Located at Matlock and Country Club, Vault Seafood and Steakhouse. Unforgettable nights. Unmatched taste.
Hi, I'm Della Sapp, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by Vault Seafood and Steakhouse.
The Kentucky Derby wasn't the only race run on Saturday that came down to the wire. In a closely contested Mansfield ISD school board race, challenger Michele Gooch has won the Place 7 seat, defeating incumbent Courtney Lackey-Wilson by just 65 votes. Unofficial results show Gooch with 50.5% of the votes compared to 49.5% for Lackey-Wilson. A total of only 6,700 ballots were cast between Tarrant and a small portion of Johnson County. Late into Saturday evening, Lackey-Wilson led the race in Tarrant County by only 14 votes, but it was Gooch's 83-vote lead in Johnson County that sealed the deal. After the race, Gooch wrote on social media, quote, "I'm incredibly grateful for your trust. This opportunity to serve is something I hold with both humility and intention. My commitment is to lead thoughtfully, communicate clearly, and remain grounded in what matters most, serving students, supporting educators, and stewarding the trust of this community well." The results are pending official canvass, which is scheduled for Tuesday, May 12th at 6 p.m.
The Mansfield City Council approved a resolution at the April 27th council meeting encouraging more civil discourse following a contentious exchange between Mayor Michael Evans and a resident during public comments. Before public comments began, Councilmember Tamara Bounds read the resolution, which affirms free speech while urging respectful and constructive dialogue among officials and residents. Moments later, resident Raymond Barlow addressed the council, criticizing the mayor over a prior complaint involving Mansfield police. During his remarks, Barlow started in on Mayor Evans.
This is my mayor, but this mayor, he's a false prophet. We can't believe anything this man says. He speaks out of both sides of his mouth, and and I'll keep it clean. He's a hypocrite.
Barlow continued by expressing his objection to the mayor, a Baptist pastor, referring to him as brother at a previous council meeting.
I ain't your brother. You don't know me. Okay? I've never seen you before we met here. You're not my brother. Don't you ever disrespect me. You call me Sergeant Barlow. You call me Mr. Barlow. You call me Barlow. But you don't call me brother. You don't have the right. You hadn't earned that respect to call me brother. See, I can call you a couple of names.
The exchange escalated when Barlow used a racial slur toward Evans. The mayor then ended Barlow's speaking time. Police officers approached as Barlow left the podium. Councilwoman Bounds later said that she authored the resolution prior to the meeting and that it was not tied to any specific incident. She described it as an aspirational statement aimed at promoting awareness of tone and encouraging productive dialogue. The resolution does not impose any new limits on public comments or restrict speech. However, existing council procedures allow the mayor to maintain order during meetings, including intervening in cases of disruptive or inappropriate remarks.
A Mansfield woman is awaiting sentencing after pleading guilty in federal court to 4 counts of sexual exploitation of children. Federal prosecutors say 31-year-old Marissa Whitcop admitted to producing explicit videos involving a 9-year-old child. Court documents also say some of the material was distributed through a social media app. Each count carries a sentence of 15 to 30 years in federal prison, meaning Whitcop faces a mandatory minimum of 15 years and up to 120 years total. She is scheduled to be sentenced June 9th before senior U.S. District Judge Terry R. Means in Fort Worth. The case was investigated by the U.S. Secret Service and the Mansfield Police Department.
A longtime fixture in historic Mansfield has closed its doors. Dirty Job Brewing ending regular operations May 2nd after 9 years in business. Owner Derek Hubenak announced the decision on social media, saying the closure follows months of reflection and was driven largely by a desire to spend more time with family. The brewery marked its closing with a farewell event over the weekend, drawing a large turnout from the community. Dirty Job Brewing opened about 9 years ago as Mansfield's first brewery after city regulations were updated to allow brewing operations. Over the years, the business became known as a community gathering place, hosting events and supporting local causes, including charitable fundraisers and pandemic-era assistance efforts. In an interview with My San Antonio, Hubenak cited additional factors, including personal responsibilities and concerns about lack of support for small businesses from the city. Hubenak indicated that the team may consider future opportunities in a different form or location, but for now, the focus is stepping away from day-to-day operations.
The Mansfield Mission Center is calling it, quote, an incredible night, end quote, as they reportedly raised more than $2.4 million Thursday night during a building campaign fundraiser dinner aimed at supporting a new central location. Organizers say the event brought together community members for an evening that included a live performance by musician Kofi Anderson. Proceeds from the fundraiser will go toward consolidating the organization's services into one facility, with the goal of expanding access to assistance programs for local residents. While the fundraising milestone marks significant progress, officials say additional funds are still needed to reach their $7 million goal to complete the project. The organization continues to seek community support as the campaign moves forward.
Timberview is set to send a large contingent to track and field state, and we'll talk about it because sports is next.
Hungry for bold flavor and a good time? Head on over to El Primo's to enjoy sizzling fajitas and their signature blue margarita. Enjoy weekend live entertainment and let the kids run wild with an outdoor play area and arcade. Planning a party? Multiple private rooms are available, including the all-new Parrot's Nest to make your event a success. Food, fun, and flavor for the whole family at El Primo's. Visit elprimos.net and bring your appetite. Located at Matlock and Country Club. El Primo's, where the locals go.
In sports, the Timberview High School track and field program is building a reputation for peaking at just the right time. The Wolves boys 4x100 relay is headed back to UIL State track and field meet after winning the Class 5A Region 1 title in Lubbock. It marks a 5th straight season Timberview will be represented in the event at State. The foursome of Tristan Shaw, Kobe Smith, Cliff Wynn, and Brandon Gilmore Jr. enters as the top-ranked relay in Texas. Timberview will send a deep roster to Austin May 14th through the 16th with multiple athletes qualifying across running and field events. Both the boys and the girls teams captured area titles earlier this season. On the girls' side, Mackenzie Piggy and Bailey Boyd finished first and second in the 100-meter hurdles, while the 4x200 relay team of Denia Batiste, Brooke Middleton, Jayla Bledsoe, and Reagan Williams also claimed a regional title. The same group also added a second-place finish in the 4x100 relay to secure another state berth. Brooke Middleton advanced in the 100 meters, while in the field events, Destiny Ojo qualified in discus, and Alexandria Drummond advanced in the long run. For the boys, Brandon Gilmore Jr. took the regional title in the 400 meters. Tristan Shaw won the 300-meter hurdles, and Timberview added another regional championship in the 4x400 relay. Jamar Weathers and Chase Fisher also qualified in field events. Timberview now turns its focus to Austin, where the program will look to convert a strong regional showing into state medals. Elsewhere in sports, North Texas SC fell 2-0 to Austin FC2 Saturday night at Choctaw Stadium, dropping to 2 wins, 4 losses, 3 draws on the season. Goalkeeper Nico Montoya made his first start of the season for North Texas and recorded 6 saves. Montoya is an FC Dallas Academy product and has appeared in 7 matches for North Texas last year. Up next, North Texas SC travels to Blaine, Minnesota's National Sports Center Stadium for a rematch with Minnesota United FC2 on Saturday. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. Incidentally, tickets are now available for North Texas SC's first home match at Mansfield Stadium. The club announced Monday that fans can purchase seats for the inaugural game at the new venue, which will feature a Western Conference matchup against St. Louis City 2. Kickoff is set for 7:45, and a post-game fireworks show is planned to conclude opening night festivities. And that, my friends, is a look at sports. This coming Saturday, May 9th, is National Tear the Tags Off Your Mattress Day, where Americans everywhere will bravely take on one of life's greatest injustices, that little mattress tag that's been bossing you around since day one. It's that one day of the year when you can finally look at that warning label in the eye and say, what are you going to do about it? Now, for decades, that tag has been threatening legal consequences. But here's the twist. It's only illegal for the manufacturer to remove it. And you're just a civilian with scissors and unresolved authority issues. So go ahead, make it ceremonial, gather the family, count it down, rip it off like you've been declaring independence from big betting. And if things get a little too aggressive and you somehow damage the mattress in the process, well, congratulations. You've just unlocked phase 2, Memorial Day mattress sales. Freedom isn't free, but it is, apparently, discounted.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
Tourism manager Tim Roberts joins us with the monthly cultural arts calendar.
I'm Angel Biasatti, and today we're talking about carotid arteries stenosis on Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, I'll be talking about a cocktail that will have you going to the store to find some fresh strawberries and ginger.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
And Colleen, I want to take a second here to thank the 4 guest hosts that filled in for yours truly during the month of April. Ron McKenzie, he's the marketing manager for Hawaiian Falls. Michael Hoskinson, the owner of Canine Controlled Dog Training. Taronda Hillman, author, playwright, all-around great person, and Peter Ponce, voiceover artist, most known for voicing each and every graduate's name at every MISD graduation for over 10 years. By the way, these 4 capable people were guest hosts not because I was taking time off to travel or that I was sick or whatever. I was here to record and edit every one of them. After 6 years of being behind this microphone, I felt it was time to open it up to the community to host the show. Thanks again to Ron, Michael, Taronda, and Peter. We'll do it again with other community members real soon. Also, while I'm here sharing notes, check out the Mansfield Military Moment with Nike Harrison, short video vignettes that are specifically for our military friends and family. Nike is an Army wife and a mother of 2, and she'll be bringing periodic stories to you about military life in Mansfield. Again, it's the Mansfield Military Moment with Nike Harrison, and you can visit our About Mansfield News Talk Facebook page to see her reports. This portion of the news was brought to you by El Primo's, where the locals go.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand, where excellence is still cool.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
Hi, I'm Brian McFadden, the Executive Director for Mansfield Mission Center, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section.
It is the first episode of the month, and that means we bring in tourism manager Tim Roberts with the Cultural Arts Calendar. Tim, welcome back to About Mansfield.
Great to be back. Great to be in the month of May, kicking off summer.
Let's just jump right into the calendar, and item number 1 takes us to Oliver Nature Park.
It's the first of 2 public art unveilings that we have this month. Our public art program is really just taking off like a rocket ship right now. It's so exciting, and we'll be unveiling Monarch Benches out at Oliver Nature Park May 8th at 6:30 p.m. Just a couple of dazzling new pieces that'll fit in perfectly at the crown jewel of our park system.
And then we head to a week later, we'll love it, Open Mic Night.
Open Mic Night, got to hit it every single month. May 14th, 7:30 p.m. New themes every month. There's always something fresh. If you've been before, you haven't seen it like this. There's always something new going on at the Far Best Theater.
Also at the Far Best Theater, we love magic.
Our monthly magic show, Will Baffle's Show of Wonders, May 16th, 7 p.m. Family-friendly magic, always just a great way to spend your evening. Kids, adults, people always come away just absolutely amazed at this show, that it's not a birthday magician. You're seeing a true Vegas-quality magic show right here in Mansfield, Texas.
The next night sounds pretty interesting, May 17th. What is Stories on Canvas?
It is our new art exhibition. They'll be opening over at the Wallace Hall Art House. It'll run through June 6th, but the opening reception will be May 17th, 6 p.m., put together by artist Josh Montgomery. Just a real unique, experimental art exhibition. We're rolling these things all the time into the art house. So come and join us for some light bites and some networking out there. And then just be sure to come by the art house at some point over the next few weeks to check out this amazing gallery.
And then on May 18th, an event that I'm really looking forward to attending.
Yes, and this is our second public art unveiling, the Paw in Paw sculpture. How about that public art program? This is our first major large sculpture that we'll be unveiling as a part of this. It's been a long process. It's a beautiful piece which is going to go up in front of the brand new animal shelter. So come out for that on May 18th at 11 a.m. for just a wonderful afternoon, a morning and afternoon unveiling. And then, being a centerpiece of this fantastic new service for our citizens at the new animal shelter.
The animal shelter there on South Wisteria, next door to the Chris Burkett Service Center.
All in one little family over there now.
Absolutely.
So you can go get your pet and your recycling at the same time.
And then we wrap it up with one of my favorite live theater projects, the Fleetwood Project.
Yeah, May 29th through 31st. It'll be the first weekend of Lost and Found in IKEA. I'm going to be frank with you. I pulled the show description for this thing.
Yeah.
I tried to summarize it in my brain for this podcast hit. I could not. This show is wacky. It is wild. Go in sight unseen is what I would tell you. Don't even read the show description. Just buy your ticket. Go in. This show is something else. May 29th through 31st. It'll also run that first week of June as well. We'll touch on that next month. But Lost and Found in IKEA might be one of the wackiest shows we've ever put on at the Far Best Theater.
Well, Wild and Wacky also describes its executive director, Stevie Don Carter.
She seeks these shows out or they find her. I'm not sure. They just live in that world.
That, my friends, is the Cultural Arts Calendar. That is tourism manager Tim Roberts. Tim, go forth. We'll see you in a month.
See you then.
Angel Biasatti is here to talk about how, when it comes to a stroke, seconds can save lives. In Methodist Mansfield, news to know. Angel?
Today, we're talking about something that can change a life in a minute. And I have in the studio Dr. Flesher. Dr. Flesher, can you tell us about carotid artery stenosis and why it's important?
Absolutely. So carotid artery stenosis occurs when you get narrowing in the arteries that goes up to the brain. Normally, you have 4 arteries that go to the brain, the carotid arteries, which are in the front of the neck, and 2 vertebral arteries in the back of the neck. The main 2 arteries are the carotid arteries, and when they become stenotic, that can increase your risk of having a stroke. There are risk factors that increase your risk of getting this stenosis. The risks are being diabetes, smoking, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and heart disease. These can all increase your risk of developing carotid artery stenosis.
What are the signs of carotid arteries stenosis?
So most people are asymptomatic and actually do not have any signs. And in that case, it's important to know the screening criteria for looking for stenosis. Typically, if patients have symptoms, it's becoming more progressed, and that could be an indication that they may have a stroke in the near future.
Dr. Flesher, tell us about the screening for carotid arteries.
So the Society for Vascular Surgery recommends not to do routine screening in every patient. However, there are certain high-risk criteria in which case screening can be recommended. Typically, it's patients who are over the age of 55 who have any of those high-risk criteria. So if they have any history of diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, coronary artery disease, or any history of smoking, should be screened at least once with a carotid duplex to look for stenosis.
Now, do they go to a vascular surgeon, or do they go to primary care, or do they go to a cardiologist to get this screening? Or is it just screenings that you may hear about in the community?
So typically the screening is performed by either your primary care physician or your cardiologist. And if they find that you have stenosis, then they would refer you to the local vascular surgeon, such as myself.
When someone has carotid artery stenosis and they come to you, Dr. Flesher, what kind of procedure do you do?
So typically I start by just evaluating if the patient is having any symptoms or not, and then looking through the risk factors such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and all the ones that we listed before to make sure we've optimized all of those risk factors to minimize your risk of a stroke. There are certain indications that would lead us to cleaning out that artery called a carotid endarterectomy. Those indications would be if your stenosis is greater than 70% without having any symptoms, or if your stenosis is greater than 50% with symptoms.
How urgent is it that if you have carotid artery stenosis? Is it like immediate?
So I would say if you are having symptoms, then it is very urgent, because if you start having symptoms from carotid artery stenosis, then it is an indication that you could have a full-out stroke in the very near future. The recommendations are that once you have symptoms, the surgery should be done within 2 weeks.
So when you're saying the cleaning out of the arteries, that's a surgery?
Yes.
Well, thank you, Dr. Fletcher, for this important information. If you think you might have risk factors for carotid artery stenosis, talk to your primary care physician and get it checked out. I'm Angel Biasatti, reporting for the About Mansfield podcast.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up a drink that will have you going to the store for strawberries and ginger in this week's Cocktail of the Week. Brian?
This week's Cocktail of the Week is the Kentucky Buck. The Kentucky Buck was actually created by bartender Eric Castro for Polite Provisions, the award-winning bar in San Diego. There's an indication that this drink could possibly have been created for the Rick House, which was another bar that Castro consulted on. The cocktail takes its inspiration from the Buck, a classic highball drink which utilizes lime and fresh ginger syrup added to any base spirit and served lengthened with soda water. The Buck was the origin cocktail. The history is a little muddied, as we've discussed in the past, but I think that same bar gave birth to the Moscow Mule, one of the few classics actually created in Los Angeles. But as always, don't worry about taking notes, as I'll be giving out the ingredients instructions and always posting them on bourbongospel.com. So ingredients, you're going to need 2 ounces of a good bourbon. You know I'm a big fan of Evan Williams Bottled and Bond, but whatever good bourbon you have on hand will definitely work. You're going to need 1 ounce of fresh, say it with me, fresh lemon juice. a half ounce of ginger syrup. Don't worry, I'll give you the recipe, and 2 to 3 fresh strawberries. You're going to top this with ginger beer. You know I'm a big fan of Q ginger beer. I think it adds the right amount of ginger notes. Some people find it a little strong. If that's you, then go with something like the Fever Tree instead. The instructions: you're going to add the strawberries, the lemon juice, and the ginger syrup to a muddling tin and lightly muddle the strawberries. As an extra note, I actually added basil leaves to mine that gave it a little herbaceous note. After you've muddled that all together, you're going to add your bourbon. You're then going to dry shake this. That means we're not adding ice to it. And you're going to shake for about 8 to 15 seconds. You're going to add your ice to your glass. You're going to then double strain the cocktail into the glass and top with ginger beer. Again, here's a pro tip. Don't pour the ginger beer onto the ice cubes, and that will actually help save the carbonation. Pour it slightly into the liquid, and that will save that carbonation. And then garnish with a strawberry and a lemon with toothpicks to place at the edge of the glass. Ginger syrup is super simple to make at home. You make regular simple syrup. In my case, I used 2 cups of water. I used 2 cups of sugar. Brought that all to a boil. As it was coming to a boil, I put freshly cleaned ginger in and diced it and let it then bring to a boil. I then turned the heat off and let the ginger steep in the syrup for about a half hour. The longer, the better. You then strain the ginger out, put it into a bottle, and then you have fresh ginger syrup. The ginger syrup adds a nice little extra ginger kick to the cocktail, which my friends all found very, very pleasing. Again, I'm always open to hear your take and input if you make this drink at home. You can always reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey is barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with Steve's in-studio talk with Dr. Nicholas Michels, author of Rich by Choice.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Hi, I'm Rachel Bagley, Assistant Director at Mansfield Economic Development Corporation, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. Then this week, we conclude our conversation with Dr. Nicholas Michels, author of Rich by Choice. Enjoy.
Statistically, research has proven that it's the moment they start taking a step towards that goal is when they start to increase joy, increase peace, increase happiness in their life. So it gives people actionable steps to where all those different goals in your life, you can start obtaining them.
It's one step at a time.
That's it.
It's repetition.
Yes, that's it. Consistent.
Because when people go, for instance, I'm a Catholic, so let's use Lent as an example. Mm-hmm. You have to give up something for 40 days. I'm going to give. Actually, my wife gave up playing phone games.
Good for her. How was it the first couple of weeks? I bet it was tough.
She goes, it was very tough because after dinner we go to our recliners and she pulls out her phone and and after an hour of playing mindless games, then we turn on the TV and watch mindless TV and so 40 days later, she noticed she wasn't playing games. 50 days later, I look over, I go, hey, I notice you haven't brought your games back yet. She goes, yeah, I don't miss them. But it's the same. Okay, so that's putting a vice away. Let's start saving money. okay, you know what? I'm going to make a habit of, I don't know, let's go to the bank once a day and deposit $1.
Yeah. Yeah. Or I mean, I can do you one better.
Okay.
What about the combination of both? You know,
Yeah.
every human being, all of us, I'm not here judging anybody. We're all, every human being at the core level is trying to overcome pain, increase joy. Every human being. That's what we're all trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So every human being has a couple vices. And then they differ on scale or people's opinion. But what if I said, hey, you have vice, let's just call it a vice A. We're not going to name it because everyone has a different one. But what if I said, hey, what if I offered you $2 million to stop this vice A? This bad thing, it could be drinking Cokes, whatever you want to call it. Would you do it? Most people would say what?
Oh, sure.
100%. Yeah. Okay, so you start thinking about that of, hey, how much does that vice cost? Do you, like you talked about it earlier, like, okay, if we take that and redirect it, you're already spending money on it, but we redirect it. And that's what's great about technology. You can automate everything.
Right.
And you can redirect it to Dave Ramsey, quote unquote, growth mutual fund, Warren Buffett, high dividend, blue chip paying stocks, whatever strategy that's proven out there, real estate. But you start adding that up, it is millions of dollars down the road. So when you start talking, so you can actually do a combination of both, and it talks about that in the book. But now this will really blow your mind in an amazing way. Like we just talked about something pretty simple, but we've talked about a lot here since you and I have been talking. What happens if you start making small little steps in all these different categories? Like how great is your life going to be 3 years down the road?
Yeah.
And that's what I get excited about.
You talked about Rex, the golf course owner, and giving you an example of showing numbers and things. I had a similar guy back. He was a talk show host. That I was his director. I was in my young 20s, and he kept telling me, pay yourself first. What does that mean? Take a percentage of your paycheck and put it toward your future. No, I was 22 years old. I wanted to go party and stay out till 2 a.m. and get back to work at 6 a.m. and fall asleep at work, which happened twice.
Yeah. Okay.
Fortunately, I was not fired for either.
And who is this FICA person taking all your paycheck?
Exactly. And if I had listened to him back when I was, say, 22, life would have been a little different than financially. Now, joyfully, I don't know, because who can predict, or who can go back in time and say I would be a better person if I had done this in my 20s.
That's it. And nobody's perfect. I mean, I just told you I made financial mistakes. I made financial mistakes in my marriage. So you should see it. It's fascinating. When we go talk at high schools, we talk to Toledo, we talk to, Granbury, we talk to all these different high schools around DFW. I tell them that, what you just talked about when someone told you when you're 22, but I show it to them. I'll say, hey, do you know, and I'll give certain numbers, $75,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year, and you just save 10%, live off 90, go party, go, I don't say go party with the kids, but you just described it. Go live your life, go out to eat, enjoy it, stay away from credit card debt, and just put 10% back, and then I'll show them the number. And I haven't captured it, but I want to. Because I'll hit the number, and I offer and these kids are smart. They're great kids. All of them are in tune, because who doesn't want to talk about money? I'll say, who wants to be rich? Everyone raise their hand. They're intrigued, and we entice them with a bunch of Chick-fil-A gift cards too, which really gets kids' attention. But I want to get a picture, because when I show them that number and all the zeros and the commas that they could have at 60 if they started, at 18 or 22 or 25, it's like they're on a roller coaster ride. Like their eyes just get so big. It's like, oh, when I show them the millions of dollars that'll be there. And I mean, it's just because my goal is they can't say no one didn't show them or no one didn't tell them.
And it's all in the prepresentation, because to show up and say, hey, we're going to talk about compounding interest today.
That's boring.
So
that is. They're going to be half asleep.
Right.
Yes. I get no. But the first thing I do is I say, we talk about all the stuff we buy them because we want to make it fun. We get them pizza. We get them Chick-fil-A gift cards. But also, too, I'm not a teacher. And I'm not knocking teachers. Teachers are wonderful. I'm different. I'm not better. I've got to be very clear here. But I'm just someone from the outside that's just a different speed, a different voice. And I tell them exactly what we talked about. Of hey, the world can be this, the world can be that. Just because your parents are rich doesn't mean you're going to be rich. Just because your parents are poor doesn't mean you have to be poor. This is your life. What do you want it to be? And we do talk about money, but we also talk about things that you and I have talked about, like life.
Yeah.
And they have a choice. And I'll stay for 30, 45 minutes afterwards, and I'll get 40, 50 kids coming asking questions, and they're smart. I mean, it's amazing how smart they are. But you just hit the nail on the head that not everyone gets shown that or told that, and that breaks my heart.
In terms of becoming financially independent,
Mhm.
is there an age where it's too late to start?
No. In fact, I'm an individual. Yes, obviously, yes. Starting younger is always better. That's
Right,
anything,
right.
right? Yeah. But I'm of the individual that no, there's no like because I'll get that question a lot. Is it a certain age or certain life story? Or Nick, how am I doing compared to the rest of the world? Like how am I? They want to where their money stacks up with everyone else, and
Yeah.
there is no comparison. Like the comparison, it's your age compared to the life you have compared to the life you want. That's what people need to focus on because there's never too late. Because think about it. I mean, life goes by fast. I mean, it's already almost halfway through the year this year, and just thought like yesterday was Christmas. I mean, how many years go by? You tell me about your son. I mean, just yesterday, you were probably watching him on the ball field or the soccer field when he was in Little League.
Yep.
What I don't want for people is, yeah, you might say, hey, I wish I could have started earlier, but don't look back 5 years from now, 10 years from now with that same regret of, hey, I had an opportunity, I should have started. But so no, you're never too late, you're never too old, you're never too young either. I mean, the goal is just look at your life. Where do you want to be? What do you need to do to go get it?
And living comfortably is not a sin.
No.
But living comfortably could be a 3-bedroom, 1,000 square foot house.
Absolutely.
Living comfortably could be a 12,000 square foot house, mansion, but living within your means. Okay, I'm going to make this 1,000 square foot house work for me to where I can live comfortably.
That's it. That is. But each person, when you get to that point of whatever designated level of success that you want, desired, the point is, and is that they both individual knows what's going to make them happy. They both understand the lifestyle and what they're wanting, and then they have it. Good for them. It's not a more is always better. No, it's because remember we talk about the statistics. That's what I love. That's why my book doesn't say, hey, every person needs to have this emergency fund. We don't talk about PE ratios. Like those are all important,
right?
But it's more about life because I know people who have, let's just call it, $50,000 or $500,000 or whatever small people say small number. They are super happy. I know people with millions of dollars that are super happy, but I also know people with a little amount of money and a lot amount of money that are not happy, because that's the whole point here. They're not in happiness or joyful and peaceful, things like that. So it's not the particulars like what you just hit. You hit the nail on the head. It's understanding what's good for you, what's going to make you and your family happy. God bless you. Go do it. And these are some steps on how you can.
In this room right now, we have 2 generations.
Okay.
I am, as the government puts it, of retirement age.
Okay.
Also, right behind me, over my left shoulder, is what gen are you? My producer, Andrew, is a Gen Z.
Okay.
So, and is of an age who is old enough to be my child.
Okay.
So, what advice then, you've got a baby boomer that would be my generation and a Gen Z, the differences between advice that you would give?
Yeah, it'd be on the terms of life advice. Like as someone who's of retirement age, like the families that we work with, they've built it. They've sold a business, they've retired, they have their golden parachute. They can check mark most of the boxes of, hey, I can travel, I can do this, da-da-da. It's more life advice. Okay, hey, let's start talking about your ripple effect. Let's start talking about your ripple effect on the world, your family, the next generation, like those conversations. Now, someone who's younger, again, those importance are very important, but they're thinking about their own life. Like I don't know, your producer maybe has a family, maybe somebody's thinking about it, building his own life.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start talking about your life. Where do you want to be in business? Where do you want to be in life? Where do you want to be doing? Where do you want to be living? Where do you want to be traveling? So we start talking about life, and then only after that comes in the numbers, the money. Because who cares about money if you first don't understand about the things that you want to do in the life that you want, what's important to you? And I think that gets lost. It sounds simple, but most people don't know. And we give them little exercises, step-by-step strategies of, hey, let's really get understand here. Also, it takes people through to understand your strengths and weaknesses. How many times have you heard a natural saver is better than a natural spender? Like it's better to be one than the other. Have you ever heard that before?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
And most would say, hey, it's better to be a natural saver, right? Well, I would disagree with that. Because yes, a natural saver does save and invest and they pay down debt, but usually they're not great givers. And they're usually not great at spending money and having fun and enjoying life now. Because it's not all about the future. It's an equilibrium. Natural spenders they're the life of the party. They'll give you the shirt off their back, and they're very good at giving and enjoying life. Usually, they're not good at paying down debt and investing in the future. So the goal is to also understand who you are. And most of the time, we are who we are. And I believe every wonderful, God bless you, wonderful, no matter what. But understand your weaknesses. Like if you're a natural saver versus a natural spender, what are those weaknesses? How can you automate it? And we give strategies for that too. So there's a lot of things I would tell both of you at your age that you can still build and grow, but also how you can improve life.
You piqued my interest with a term you use called the ripple effect.
Yes.
Define that.
Absolutely. So my grandfather, my stepdad's side of the family passed away a few years ago, and a handful of years ago now. My stepfather's up there giving the speech at his funeral, and I was sitting in an old church out far east Texas, and I'm on the far right side of the church, gray suit, white shirt. And my stepdad tells the story of, okay, hey, pretend like you're in a beautiful wooded area with this gorgeous pond. In the pond, the water is just crystal clear, calm day, everything beautiful green around it. And you toss a pebble into that pond, you're going to see a ripple effect. Mm-hmm. He said, my dad, which is my grandfather, his life is that pebble. Every single one of you in here have been positively influenced by his life, and it goes in that. And at that point in time, it struck me that not only am I part of my grandpa's ripple effect, but I'm also creating my own ripple effect. And and it's just not just family, but it's everyone. We all are entrusted here and have the opportunity to, yes, help ourselves, but to help others around us, our friends, our family, our loved ones. That's your ripple effect, but it doesn't stop the moment we die. That ripple effect can continue on. And so when you start thinking of life in those kind of terms of, yes, it's nothing wrong with improving yourself. It's okay to do good by doing good. It's okay to have nice things. It's okay to have fun in life. But also, I think once you have some success, I feel an obligation or what would be a good word? Steve, help me out. Because Rex helped me, and I've had so much help along the way that
you're paying it forward.
It would be so selfish of me not to, because I got lucky. Right. And so you start thinking about your life and that kind of ripple effect of how big do you want it to be? Who do you want to impact the most? So again, we're not even talking about dollars or cents again.
No.
Like, we're not talking about money.
Nope. It's life.
It is.
And you talk about the generational ripple effect. Mm-hmm. I always think about my grandfather, who had this work ethic about him. He built the house that he lived in lived in that house until the day he died. And,
that's impressive.
And just the way he was able to use his hands, and I love tinkering out in the garage on a Sunday afternoon, and I always think about my grandfather back then, and yeah, so that ripple is still there, even though he's been gone since the 1980s. Mm-hmm. The ripple effect.
Yes, it's so powerful. Like the ripple effect, and again, it's not just about money. Like in the book, it talks about creating what you call a family crest. And most of the thing of the crest, you think of old knights, like an old knight at the round table. Yeah. Remember that?
Sure.
Like King Arthur and the knights. And so each knight could be from different places, and they'd have their own crest, and that crest symbolized a lot. But so if you think about it, we all should be creating our own family crest. And it makes it fun to where it's visual, where kids can see it, to where, hey, this is what we represent. This is our family. Like your grandfather represented hard work.
Yeah.
Obviously he was there a big part of your life, so he was present. He was a loving grandpa and had a great effect on you. How great would it be if you had a shield with a family crest that had all those core values that your grandpa passed on, that you could say, hey, let me show this to you, and then pass that on. So it gives little things like that not a lot of people think about to do, but there's power in that. Because remember, yes, you can tell someone something, but if you can show it to them and then also live it out, kids are more likely to remember that and have a lasting impact. Like your grandpa, he had a house to show that, hey, he built that with his hands. That's impressive.
Not only built that house, but he lived in a cul-de-sac, and he helped build the other 6 homes in that cul-de-sac.
That's amazing. Yeah,
that blows me away. But we are getting toward the end of this interview. Tell people how they can find the book Rich by Choice, and anything else you want You want to say about the book?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I got a free gift for everyone who's listening. It's absolutely free. And it's also where you can find the book. If you go to our website, www.richbychoicebook.com, richbychoicebook.com, right there you click on free gift. It's going to be in a green box. And I'm going to give you one of the most powerful chapters in the book. You just put in your email address and you hit this scroll down. It's compounding by choice. And what that is it's a chapter on compounding interest. But most people think of compounding, it's money. But we talked about it earlier where every area of your life right now is compounding. Every area, your health, your wealth, your relationships, everything, your faith, everything. And it's either compounding for good or for bad. And so when you start to think about that, and there's an exercise in there that says, hey, these are the key areas of my life and the key specifics in those areas. And we give little daily actions. You talked about consistency.
Right.
This chapter of the book changed my life. And out of all the reviews and thousands of emails and calls, things like that we've received from around the world, this chapter is probably what we most get dialogue or gratitude about, because it's just, again, it has to do with money, but it has to do with every area of your life. And remember, we talked about once someone starts to take the steps to get to where they want in any area of their life, that's when more joy, less stress, more peace, less pain start to increase in somebody's life. And that's, yes, I get excited about the awards from the book, but I get more excited about the success story. I really do. I mean, as you can tell, this is like college football to me. I can talk about this all day long.
Sure.
But that's what I want to do. So richbychoicebook.com, go there. It's free. There's no strings attached. And if you want to buy the book, absolutely go buy it. And I hope it helps you as much as it's helped everyone else.
I'm going to go buy the book now. It's true, because usually, I got to admit, usually authors show up and they bring the book, and I'm kind of thumbing through the book while I'm interviewing them. And we did this blind. I have not seen a copy of the book, and we've been doing this for 47 minutes, and and it's working. But you have me very, very intrigued about the book. So hopefully. There's a listener. Hopefully there's 1,000 listeners. Somebody out there is intrigued about the book. And Dr. Michels, I hope it this interview I hope it goes well. And in terms of selling books, richbychoicebook.com is the book. Dr. Nicholas E. Michels is the author, or as we're now calling him, Nick.
That's it. That is. Hey, thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks for being on About Mansfield. Coming up next week on About Mansfield, another stellar interview with another Mansfield person with a story to tell. You'll just have to tune in to find out who it is. In the meantime, this is the place where you will hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, engage, connect, amplify, elevate, celebrate, embrace, explore, share, love, or support this podcast if you haven't already, so you never miss an episode. It's free and it's easy. Head on over to our website, aboutmansfield.com. Enter your email address right there on the homepage. We will never, ever, ever, ever send you any spam. We promise.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts, Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Mansfield Military Moment, Nike Harrison. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any of the use of this podcast without prior written consent is strictly prohibited. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield.